Fusion fam, what's up?
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen?
Man, we are at Colossal Con, and we have a very special guest with us. Could you please introduce yourself to the people?
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dill Dempsey, the realtor of reality, your premier event wrestling heavyweight champion, and Colossal Con 2K24 was a success because of 2 words, and still. Gentlemen, it's an honor. Thank you guys for having me today.
Man, no problem, no problem.
Ooh, yeah.
And if you guys don't know who we are, I'm Chad.
And I'm Jeremy.
And together, this podcast, this tag team, this collective, these Comic-Con conquerors and gaming gods, we are Fusion.
I love it. I love it.
Hey, Gator knows what's up. I saw him hit that little fusion dance in there. I see you. I see you.
The Fusion Gator over there.
So, Dill, if you could, just tell us a bit about Premier Wrestling.
So Premier Event Wrestling doesn't necessarily have a home base. It's a traveling wrestling promotion. We've wrestled around here in the Austin, Round Rock area. We can go as south as, like, San Antonio, trying to think, Leander. I mean, it's mainly based around this area, I guess I could say, but various towns. Whenever you need, like, a birthday party or a con in this case, or a big show, hit up Marty Green for your needs. That is Premier Event Wrestling. It has been going on for quite some time. I've been the champion since May, so I am the spokesman and representative, even though I'm a little banged up after technically 3 matches. But that's the gist of it. We are honored to be here for the 2nd year in a row. We were here in 2023, now in 2K24. It was a fun one. Boo me, cheer me, regardless. We gave you a hell of a show, and it was my honor.
Let me get that back up, man.
Okay, sure. Go.
There we go. There we go.
Okay, I know we got to pass the mic like that. So, man, what made you want to become a wrestler, man? Like, oh man, I want to do that.
So when I was a kid, I was very wild. I was like hard to settle down. I was like all over the place, and I can't particularly remember when, but my mom, I think while she was cooking one time, she put wrestling on the TV. It was a Monday Night Raw, and all of a sudden I just sat still like a rock and watched the whole thing. And I don't know what it was about it, but I mean, growing up and watching it, people beating up each other, and then I played the video games as well, the WWE games, and I was like, I want to do something like this. And I never realized that, like, the independents, or what we call them, the indies, existed. I thought it was just WWE, TNA, Ring of Honor, and all that stuff. But no, it's any and everywhere, especially Texas. That's like the hotbed of wrestling in the U.S., if not one of. And fast forward, here we are today, and this is almost 11 years since I've been doing this.
Wow.
Believe it or not.
11 years? That is.
But I do not feel my age, man.
Yeah.
It's a little painful,
good
but
thing
it's
or a bad thing?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Answer is yes.
I'll answer y'all later.
Okay. So what sets PEW apart from other promotions?
So when it comes to certain promotions, like I mentioned earlier, they're a bit more home-based. Like we have strictly San Antonio, strictly Austin, Houston, Dallas, even a lot of the small towns. That's a hotbed for it because, for example, I'm just going to throw a town out there, like let's say Katy, Texas. Y'all a little familiar with that?
Yeah,
exactly. Shout out to Katy Mills. I love that mall. If you can call it that, it's a damn city in itself.
Yeah, for real.
That's like, if something were to happen there, all the folks would come in because it's like a hotbed, like a small town. They don't have like a whole lot going on, but if like there's a big event going on, they'll scatter together, like today, for example. And when it comes to PEW, like I mentioned earlier, we're more catering to family friendly, more, fan participation, just going with the flow and just making sure everybody leaves with a great memory, good, bad, or indifferent,
Okay. I love how you advertise PEW, man. It's dope, man.
I mean, brother,
I see. I love it. I love it, man.
Oh yeah.
So, what was the wrestling school you went to? And you was like, that's the one. 'Cause where a lot, where you from?
Yeah.
And what made you go, That's the one.
That's
for
the
me.
one.
Yeah.
So I am originally from Laredo, Texas, and at the time when I started, there wasn't really, I guess, a prominent wrestling school. It was more like what we call open ring, or like in sports, you could call it an open tryout, open field, open to just come in, and see what we can do. Yeah. Open mat, there you go. Okay. But eventually, 5-Star Wrestling, shout out to those guys in Laredo, they eventually became the premier school of Laredo in the sense of consistency, training talents. That's where I got my foot in, and many others. I mean, you probably saw a couple today that got influenced by 5-Star. Yeah. But I recently also moved to San Antonio a few months ago, and I trained with Dog Pound Championship Wrestling, which is run by former WWE stars Rodney Mack and Jazz, who have a lot as well to offer, and they're signed currently to the NWA, the National Wrestling Alliance. So that's a lot of work. And that's one of the main reasons I moved to San Antonio. That was for wrestling, and hence I feel that I'm in San Antonio, I'm closer to Houston, closer to Austin, Dallas, because Laredo, for reference, like here in Round Rock's about 3.5 hours down south, because it's a border town, to Mexico. So everything's far. But in San Antonio, it's like, it's tolerable. Just not the highways. We all know that. That's the only downfall. Yeah, boo. Yeah, they're the heels. Yeah, right.
The highways are the heels.
Oh yeah.
All right, so I gotta ask, who is Dill Dempsey?
Ooh, like that. Dill Dempsey, the realtor of reality, if you will, or I would sometimes say the Gateway City realist, being from Laredo, the Gateway City, the realtor of reality. Plain and simple. Realtors, they sell. They convince to sell. I'm convincing that in there, 24/7, I am me, myself, and I. Whether you like it or not, it is my reality. The ring is my realm, my property, and I will foreclose anybody who wants to try and take this or any of this away from me, because that is reality. I am Dill Dempsey. That's what it is. It's a long way of saying I am me. If you don't like it, you know where you can shove it. Plain and simple.
Man, just the Nintendo wasted that game. God, good Lord.
Good Lord, man.
Oh my God. So, what? Heel or face? That's all I gotta ask. And why?
So, they both have its perks. Being a face, I love the adulation of the crowd, being seen as a hero, just fighting through adversity, fighting from underneath, as they say. But then you got the heel. You have no limits. You can talk trash. You can play dirty. You can find an escape. Take shortcuts. Ooh, I'd say after the events of today, I mean, this was a bad guy right here. I'm just saying. So I'd have to lean towards the old heel, just if you will.
Oh, so that is great. I like how you set that up, because I have a question. So, what does being the champion? I'm sorry, co-champion.
Damn right.
Mean to you?
Shout out to T.Y. Shane, the man of the year. It means that not all the weight is on my shoulders. This case is just one of my shoulders. You got the shoulders of T.Y. Shane and Dill Dempsey collectively. We're not only a team, we're a unit. We're brothers. And out there, by any means necessary, we retained. Not I. We. Granted, I won the gold, but together we are collectively champions just because of our shared friendship in our unit. So, in that case, we are the champion.
That's interesting, because I saw that he got pinned, but you didn't lose the belt. So
exactly.
How does that work exactly?
Because if you want to go statistically and official, I'm the one that won the title. Yet he is a co-conspirator of that case, but he's not the conspirator. He is not the man that holds this, 10 pounds right here over the shoulder. So by a technicality, I am still the champ because my shoulders weren't pinned. I didn't tap out. Love it. Hey man, I'm no lawyer, but I do know know the rules when they're convenient. I got you there.
Because today's event, man, I was like, dude, you just got away twice with murder in my eyes. Like, come on,
nearly
bro.
3 times.
Right?
We had that battle royal.
I love how, man, like, what did you learn that from? Like, how to be a great heel the way you were? Because I was like, damn, he talking trash talking. You play the crowd. I see, and all y'all here, y'all ring psychology. I love it.
Magnifique.
Oh yeah. So what inspired you, and what music music. No, I'm playing.
Yeah, copyright. Godly.
Who would you emulate, and who's like that person who's like, I want to be like him, or even her sometimes? Because you got some females out there that's good.
So, when it comes to like the first half of that question, I do have a theater background. I was in theater arts in high school, and I graduated in Texas A&M University in Laredo, which is just TAMU for short. It's an extension of it, with a minor in theater arts. So that really helped my confidence and like being boisterous, being loud, and controlling the room. You know, whether you're good or bad. But when it comes to emulating, that is a good question. I study quite a few, and I just cherry pick from each one of them. Like, I like how this guy talks, how this guy punches, how that guy throws, you know, a certain move, and the way it's a little bit of quite a mix of guys. Like, I love The Undertaker, for example, American Badass Undertaker, Dead Man Undertaker. I mean, tomato, I like them both. I really liked Triple H as well back then. Randy Orton more right now. You know, a lot of the attitude / ruthless aggression era. I grew up ruthless aggression era. I started in 03. You know, a lot of that, and making it my own flavor. It's like, oh, Dill's just copying so and so. It's like, no, I'm tributing so and so, but I'm putting my splash of paint on it. Each and every which way, you know.
Love it. Okay, and speaking of the attitude era and ruthless aggression era, so dream match. I know we hear that term tossed around a lot, right?
Yeah.
If you can insert yourself, you versus anybody, into a dream match, who would you pick?
I mean, besides Undertaker, that's my all-time favorite.
Okay.
That's a good one. I like that one. I would say, especially during the ruthless aggression era, give me Chris Jericho.
Oh man. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, man.
Come on, baby.
I love Chris Jericho, man. He's one of the
Y2J, man. Yeah.
Okay. Chris Jericho. Wow. Jericho.
Oh yeah.
Normally you hear like Stone Cold, The Rock, and The Undertaker.
But Jericho was that dude?
He was that dude. No. He was that dude. He was underutilized.
In the same night.
I know. He's underutilized at that time. That's why, like, damn, I hate that thing. So, what in the future, what do you want to do? What do you want to be as a professional wrestler, or even an indie wrestler?
Right. So, going back to what I mentioned earlier about when I started in Laredo, in like the late 2000s, early 2010s, there was really only just a few options, realistically. It's like, you know, WWE is seen as the top. There was Impact. Ring of Honor was getting its footing out there, but there wasn't a lot that we see out now. You know, like there's NWA, there's GCW, there's New Japan Strong, like that's in the US, and there's quite a lot. Like I can't name them all in one shot. I have to be like, oh, I forgot someone. But then versus now would be the kind of add-on question. Then, of course, I grew up WWE. I love TNA as well. Ring of Honor I got into a little later when I found out what it was through the internet, like when they would stream on YouTube. Nowadays, I mean, I would like to sign anywhere that I can.
Okay.
Whether it's AEW, WWE, NWA, GCW, and like there's a lot of options.
Yeah.
Back then there wasn't that many platforms that we have now. And the indies, especially in Texas, is a hotbed. Yeah. Like what you guys are doing now, this is great exposure for y'all, and you're basically your guest at this point. The internet always wins in this case to like get that exposure, and it could take one person to be like, hey, I like what that guy did. Let's see, let's give him a shot. Like it could happen like that.
Okay.
So realistically, anywhere I could sign and just keep getting out there, keep getting better.
Okay. So man, you mentioned all these other wrestling companies. How do you feel about the state of wrestling now? Because us growing up, like a lot of things that we see in the cross promotion and brands and things like that, did not exist. But now it's almost like a free for all. You can do anything in your
the old forbidden door, as they say.
Yeah, the forbidden door.
Or the something vortex.
Or the enchanted window or something. Who knows?
The enchanted.
So how do you feel about the state of wrestling?
It's, man, if you would have told me like in 2006, 2007, like, oh, WWE and TNA are going to merge together for like a partnership, I'm like, you're joking. But nowadays, it's like, it's unbelievable. You don't know who can literally step in. Like, some NXT guys are going to TNA, and some TNA guys are going to NXT. It's like, I love the uncertainty of it. It's unpredictable in a good way.
Right.
And it makes both parties win. Both of their brands get better and more exposure. Like, maybe someone's watching and they're like, what's Impact? What's TNA? Oh, that guy's in TNA. They look it up. And like, I like that. It helps us, as a whole, especially in the indies, if there's partnerships like that. Yeah. Like, Texas is so big. There's promotions that run multi-shows, like 10 matches for 10 different promotions, and that's still barely scratching the surface. It's insane.
Wow.
Wow. It's crazy.
Very, yeah.
So can you name, if you want to talk about this?
Oh boy.
It's not that serious. Your best match and then your worst match. You know what?
Boy.
Either order. It don't even matter.
One.
That's a good one. What you got for us, man?
See, I have had so many matches, but thankfully, knock on the invisible door, knock on wood, I haven't had really head-related injuries like such as concussions, thank God, or trauma. So my memory's fairly all right still for now. My best match, I would say of recent memory because of the star value. It was last October. I got to share the ring with Super Crazy.
Oh wow! He's still doing his thing.
The Super Crazy.
Damn.
He's signed to Pro Wrestling Noah right now in Japan.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So he's in and out, like a few months in Japan, a few months in Mexico and the U.S. Like, that dude's a workhorse. He's still going.
Jeez, that's nuts.
I was starstruck. I was like, oh, I got to share the ring with this guy.
Hell yeah.
And then some of my worst, I don't know. When it comes to worst ones, I try not to dwell on that. I think of it more as like, it's a funny memory.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I always say, if something's going wrong or something's crazy, I'm like, this is something I'll tell in a podcast in 5 years from now. So not to say that I don't have an answer, it's just I try not to dwell on that.
Okay.
I look at it with like, it happened, cool, another day, another match. Like today, I mean, still the champ.
Yeah, still.
So I'll talk about that.
And still, all right?
Those lumber bros, I swear.
Yeah.
God.
Man, speaking of the lumber bros, could you tell us about some of your other wrestling partners here? And is there anybody that you're looking forward to facing?
Ooh, man. And here's the beauty of that, to kind of add on to that. We all know the big thing that happened 4 years ago, COVID. That was both a positive and a negative for the wrestling world in our aspect. Because what came with it was the speaking out movement. And it basically canceled a lot of guys and girls that we didn't know that had that dark side of being like predators or like has a history of abuse and like, what do you call it? Not blackmail. The word will come to me, but they're basically... God, I wish I had the word, but it'll come back to me. But it took away those negatives and made room for a lot of up-and-coming guys. Like, a majority of that roster you guys saw today, a chunk of them started after the pandemic.
Wow, really?
And a few handful of us, maybe 5 of us, have started pre-COVID, years before that.
Wow.
And that's just led an influx of a lot of passion and a lot of talent that, like, the locker room is more of a safe space than it was years ago. And I see that as a hell of a positive.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And the thing is, there's just so many great talent out there, it's hard to pick just one. It's like, hey, give me them all.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, I was in a rumble with like 9 guys. Yeah. So, I mean, I practically wrestled the whole locker room.
Okay.
So, hey, bring it on.
Oh, man.
Champ's making a challenge now.
That's why you're the champ. So, Bill, if you could, just let the people know where they can find you.
So, I am active on the interwebs, as they say.
Okay.
And hey, give these guys a follow too, not just me. Just saying. I got y'all.
Thank you.
So, when it comes to Facebook, just Dill Dempsey. I have a Facebook fan page that like posts, photos, videos, promos, exclusive stuff like promo shots and whatnot, whatever's out there. I'm mainly active too on Instagram, all lowercase. It is Dempsey9 5, 6. You'll see clips from here probably as well, and a lot more of my personal stuff when it comes to, hey, I'm in this town today, or hey, I'm still the champ over here, and exclusive match highlights. YouTube, I don't necessarily have a channel, but a lot of my content from various content creators are out there, and if you guys get to check it out, just type Dill Dempsey or Dill Dempsey Wrestler. Give those guys a follow too, because most of them are kind of like what you guys do. You guys support the product, support this, and they support too. Like I said, Texas is humongous. And I'm sorry if this ruffles feathers. I still call it Twitter. I'm sorry, I don't call it X. I'm used to Twitter, and I barely get on that dang thing. I barely get on it, but I'm on there somewhat. It is Dempsey, ROR 913. ROR being Realtor of Reality. That's the long one, but yeah, just mainly the big three and YouTube, of course. And I mean, that's, you know, I just post stuff like this. I let y'all know where you'll see me next, and just keep up the support, and thank y'all so much for that. So check it out. Give me a follow. I follow back, by the way.
Okay, sweet. And you can catch us the Fusion Hot Podcast. You can catch us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, X if you're nasty. You can
I love that.
Like, share, subscribe, and follow us on YouTube. Let us know what you think. Thank you so much, Dill, for doing this with us.
Thank you guys so much, man.
Man, appreciate your time.
Well, man, we'll let you get back to it. You're a busy man. You are the champion. I'm sure you're going to go pop some champagne, pop some bottles, live it up at Colossal Con. Yeah,
live the champion, right.
Hydrate before you die.
Water.
Hydrate before you die, bro.
That's right. And that's reality.
Man. Oh, man. That's it. Oh, man.
I ain't going to drop that mic. I like these guys. Thank you. We'll just edit that in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, man, let's end this thing. I'm Chad.
And I'm Jeremy.
And this is
Fusion Hot.
Oh, hey, that's it. Oh, that's it. We done. We done. Cut
Put your name in.
No, we good. You killed that. You killed that. That's done.
Fusion Hot.
With what's left of my voice.
Yeah. That's it. We're done.
I passed by.